This afternoon, a scathing letter to the Department of Children and Families today. The child advocate says she is, quote, increasingly alarmed by the quality of case practices based on several recent cases, including one we just learned about.
Chief Investigator Len Bestoff has been digging for answers on a number of high-profile DCF cases in the past year. Len, you spoke with the author of the critique, and you have more now on this new case raising questions about the DCF.
Yeah, Kevin and Amber, I mean, here we go again. We've got another case. It's hard to believe this quickly we're hearing about another one. The child advocate says this child died by apparent suicide just 1 hour after speaking with a DCF worker. The family had a long history with the department, and the child advocate says the child told the caseworker they did not feel safe and asked to come to foster care. In this letter, the child advocate writes the family did not have stable housing and none of the kids were enrolled in school. DCF made the decision to leave the child with the parent, indicating that coming to care was not an option. The letter goes on to say OCA is alarmed at the quality of case practice observed through our reviews of critical incidents and child fatalities, some of which have garnered significant public attention and some which have not. This is the latest in a series of cases where DCF practices and protocols have been questioned. Christina Guillo says her office has been working with DCF since 2023, but has not seen adequate improvement.
We are deeply, deeply concerned. These are significant deficits in case practice.
An OCA review of in-home cases in 2024 and 2025 raised concerns with both the quality and quantity of those face-to-face interactions.
In response to the question of did all of the children in the home have documented face-to-face visits, means did the caseworker go out and meet with that child face-to-face? The answer for that was yes in about, less than 60% of the cases, which means that's not happening in 40% of the cases, which is alarming. And needs to be addressed urgently.
But we have to get serious about DCF. And we really haven't been. We've been focused on other things. And that's a shame because we've had so many tragedies. You'd think that we might be able to get serious about this. And this legislature has not done that.
And the fact that a child asks them to be put in foster care, I can't tell you how rare that is. And if a DCF worker left that home knowing full well that that child did not feel safe in that home, then we have lost all credibility in our ability to keep kids safe.
We are still waiting on an initial statement from DCF. Also in this report, it says this agency has crazy high turnover. Think 50% of staffers leave in 2 years. The report says these workers are overwhelmed and unable to meet expectations. That's how they feel. And you can bet this is something that's going to be on the radar screen at the Capitol for some time. Len Bestoff, NBC Connecticut Investigates. Let's send it back to you.
Deeply important reporting from Len Bestoff today. Len, thank you. Meantime, lawmakers are considering changes for the maligned agency.
And NBC Connecticut political reporter Mike Savino joins us live from the Capitol. Mike, what kinds of changes are on the table?
Well, Amber and Kevin, this bill was already on the docket before that letter from the child advocate started to make its rounds. And in fact, talking to lawmakers this afternoon, some still didn't even know about it when they started debate. Now, this bill just moments ago got through the House of Representatives unanimously because Democrats and Republicans say a string of high-profile events over the last 12 or 13 months show that DCF needs some big changes, but it also needs support and resources from the lawmakers in this building.
I think people want accountability. I think people want to see that we are getting the answers in real time from DCF.
Lawmakers want major reforms to the Department of Children and Families, a push that goes back to last March when a Waterbury man who says he was held captive by his stepmother set fire to his home, bringing light to what he called decades of abuse and neglect. Then in October, the body of 11-year-old Mimi Torres Garcia was found dead in New Britain. She had been dead for more than a year. And last month, a 12-year-old girl was found dead in her Enfield home. DCF had involvement with all three families. This bill would create an oversight committee providing feedback to both DCF and the legislature.
To me, it's sort of modernizing the way DCF does their job. It's recognizing that the family unit is much more complicated.
The bill calls for more training and creates an apprenticeship program for social workers. It increases stipends for foster families and more frequent check-ins from the correction department when a parolee is placed in a home with children. And the bill seeks to broaden the field of potential foster placements. If approved, DCF would need to give a reason when it denies placing the child with close family friends, also called fictive kin.
Many people have written to us saying that they wanted to take possession and take over guardianship of their loved ones and that they were denied.
Republicans wanted more reporting from DCF, and lawmakers say they don't anticipate much money in the budget to help beef up staffing this year. But they say this bill is just a first step.
We can't take a big bite out of the apple. We're taking a pretty significant bite here. This is the most comprehensive changes that we've seen for this agency out of this committee in quite some time.
Now, that approval means this bill now comes here to the Senate with a week left in the session. It also seeks to set parameters around virtual visits. If a child who is in DCF contact is out of state for at least 14 days, DCF would have to contact that state's child welfare agency and try to coordinate in-person visits. That would be the priority, and virtual interviews would only be allowed as a last resort. Live from the Capitol, Mike Savino, NBC Connecticut News.